Hi everyone, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. So today I'm making my first build using the Sims 4 Jungle Adventure, even though it came out almost a month ago. But that's just because, as I've said in several videos recently, I have had a lot going on in my life lately with moving and buying a house and all that. But now that's over, I'm all moved in, so things are settling down and returning back to normal, so I should be able to get back to uploading regularly, which I'm just really glad about because I have been missing making videos lately. So this build is one that I'm actually going to be using in a Let's Play that I will be starting very soon, hopefully. Because even though it has been almost a month since Jungle Adventures came out, I still want to do a mini-series on it just because I feel like there's a lot of really fun things to explore in it. And originally I was just thinking I could explore it in my existing Let's Plays, but then I realized it probably wouldn't really work super well to try to shoehorn that into the series I have going on, because if I try to explore my cats and dogs Let's Play, then that would take away from the cats and dogs related content, so I don't think that would really work very well. Although I still might, visit Selvadoradian a little bit in that series, but I'm not going to be trying to, explore everything there is to explore in it. And then it really wouldn't work well to try to explore it in the other series I have, which is my Sims 4 Season 2 one, because the way I do that Let's Play is that I have 4 households and I just rotate through them, spending 3 parts with them at a time. So if I pick one sim in that series to explore Jungle Adventures with, it would take months to get through it all because there's other sims in the household and you'd only have 3 parts at a time, so I'd only have like 1 part every few months or so or whatever to do anything. So obviously that's not going to work well, but I am actually going to be using one of the sims from that series in this mini-series because she's a sim who loves the outdoors and just really spending time in the outdoors, and is someone who I could see going off on her own and having this adventure in a foreign land. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that series on hold and do a mini-series with her, just focusing on her. The sim's name is Cammy, by the way. So it's probably just going to be like a 10-part mini-series, so it's really going to not take that long to get through. So I think that's fine to do. And also that sim is one who tends to get put on the back burner just because of her personality and the goals, because currently she has the outdoor retreat related aspiration for the reasons why I don't think it would work well to explore Jungle Adventures in this series. That aspiration is one that's really hard to complete too because it involves sending her to Granite Falls, which is difficult to do because she lives with 3 other sims. I have to focus on them too. So I'm just finding it difficult to accomplish what I want to do with her anyway. So I think she's a really good sim to do a mini series for, just so she gets a little bit of attention, because I think she's one of the sims in that series who gets the least attention, but she's actually one of my favorite and I just really like her. So I'm really looking forward to getting to focus on her more and getting her to have her own adventure and taking her out of her element a little bit. I think it's going to be a really fun series, and it's actually going to not be just her that we're playing with. So I'm going to be having her stay with a local of Selvadoradian, and once I won't explain like why she's staying with this local until we actually start the series. I kind of want to keep that a little bit of a secret, but I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really interesting. And this house that I'm building is going to be the house of that local that she's staying with. So it's not set up like a vacation home where it's kind of sparse. Like there's a little bit more crammed into this house, and I also wanted to give this look of being an older house that's maybe not perfect condition, like it's kind of falling apart slightly, like I just stuck some cracks on the wall and have plants hanging all over it and that kind of a thing. So it's not this luxury vacation rental place, like it's just this home that this person owns that Cammy is staying with. And if you're interested in watching this series and you haven't seen my Sims 4 Season 2 Let's Play, I will make it so you don't really need to watch that to watch this, because usually with my Let's Plays I have a backstory anyway. So basically with this one, part of the backstory will just be stuff that actually happened and was actually played out rather than just things I made up. So, it's not going to be, too different than when I start a new series, I guess, except for that there's actual gameplay of the background stuff that happened for this sim. But then the whole reason why she's going to Selvadoradian will be a new thing for everyone, even if you have seen that other series. So yeah, I think that's going to be really fun, and I just really like kind of expanding the world of the sims I already have a little bit more, just making their lives a little bit more detailed and adding more to it. I did have a lot of fun making this house, though. It was really nice to finally get to use all the stuff that came with Jungle Adventure, because I really like a lot of the items that came with this pack, and I just have not gotten a chance to use it lately, and I was just glad to finally be able to sit down and put it to use. And I also like what I did with those plants that are on the column there, because I was putting those plants out and I noticed that they look like something that would be wrapping up a column, so I just thought it would look really cool to take them and make them look like they're going all the way up the column. And I really want to do another build with this pack, like one that's an actual proper like luxury vacation home, like something a little bit bigger, because for this one I just wanted to make something really small and cozy that wasn't, you know, terribly fancy, but I definitely want to make like a luxurious vacation home. I think that'd be a lot of fun to make something bigger, a little bit grander, and like have a nice pool and a hot tub and all of that. So yeah, it's on my list of builds I want to do. Not sure if that's going to be next, but hopefully soon I can make something like that. I always have so many builds I want to do. I've said in a couple builds recently that I had this seafood restaurant that I made, and that I just kept putting off making the video for it. And unfortunately, I did a kind of stupid thing, and I was cleaning out all of my video recording footage because I hadn't done it for months for whatever reason, because I just kept forgetting it. And I stupidly deleted all of the footage for that speed build, and then like there's another build I had halfway done, I deleted everything for that too. So yeah, there's not actually going to be a video of the seafood restaurant, unfortunately, but I will upload it to the gallery. So I don't know if I'll remember to do it before this video goes up, but at some point soon I'll remember to upload the seafood restaurant to the gallery, so you can at least download it even if there's not going to actually be a video for it. And then the other build that I've halfway finished, I'm probably just going to scrap, because I don't know, I kind of don't really feel like finishing it now. So I'll probably just work on something else. But I was so frustrated because I had like another speed build that I could upload, and I was saving it so I could upload speed builds closer together. You know, like have a speed build ready to go without actually having to take the time to build anything. But nope, I just went ahead and deleted the footage. And I, of course, did shift delete. So it's not even the recycling bin, because I always have a habit of doing that when I'm deleting files just to make sure they're actually gone off my computer. So yeah, no getting that one back. But anyway, right now I'm getting pretty close to finishing up the outside. And I stuck both the wash tub and the clothes drawer, or the why am I blanking on what it's called? The clothing line, and then I also stuck an actual washer and dryer in the house as well. So you have both of those options depending on what you want to do if you send your Sims here. Because I mean, even though this was furnished to more so actually be someone's home, I think it would still work really well just to send your Sims to on their vacation. And with this house, like with the furnishing of it, I was kind of imagining it as one that more of an archaeologist type would live in, because the Sim who Cammy is going to be staying with is someone who like wants to be an archaeologist. Like they want to uncover all these rare artifacts and get rich and that kind of a deal, but they just haven't had a whole lot of luck with it. And part of it is that they're kind of afraid to go to the parts of the jungle that are a little bit more dangerous, which is where I imagine the more valuable treasures are. So they just kind of dig around their home, and they end up finding a lot of counterfeit things and cheapy little artifacts. So at the very end of this, like the last thing I do in this build was that I went through and I turned on the hidden objects sheet, and I just stuck some of the different artifacts and little things that you could buy at the marketplace, like the dolls and the weaved baskets. So I stuck some of those around, and then the artifacts that I stuck up were all the counterfeit ones, because like I said, I imagine that, you know, they're not really looking in the greatest places for their treasures, and they just keep finding bad stuff because they're kind of squeamish and afraid to actually go into the jungle. So that Sim will have the archaeology related aspiration that came with this game pack, so we'll be exploring that with that Sim, and then Cammy will have the one that's the jungle explorer, so she's gonna be the one doing the tombs and all, and maybe she'll help the other Sim to get over their fear of the jungle and actually, you know, explore it a bit. So that's just kind of along the lines of what I was thinking for that character. But we are on to the inside now, and I had a lot of fun furnishing this build. And I feel like with this one, the furnishing actually came together a lot quicker than it usually does for me. Because it usually just takes me, well, it did take me hours to furnish this, but it wasn't as long as usual. Like, I think I furnished this in 2, maybe 3 hours, which is a bit less than it usually takes me. But yeah, this build I actually made in one sitting, which, well, not quite one sitting, but I made it all in like one night, which I usually don't do. Like usually I'll do the outside one day and then I'll come back the next day and do the inside, but I was just on a roll, so I did the whole thing in probably about 4 hours, which for me is pretty quick. But I just love all the items, and I was trying to mix in some other things that I thought went well with it. And I really like that one table that the TV's in. I just think the metal looks really cool, and I like the lamps, and I just like the I just like the furniture that came with this pack, and this interior was a bit challenging for me because I usually do not build in this style, so definitely had me a little bit out of my comfort zone, but it was definitely fun to use all of these items and try a different style. Although something I did get a bit stuck on was like what to use for wall decorations, because as I got into this, I was really wishing that this pack had come with more paintings that kind of were in the style of the furniture, because I ended up using a lot of stuff from City Living because it was just colorful and I felt like it worked well with this house, but it's just not really the right kind of wall decorations for this place, I think, but it kind of works, so that's why I went with this. And then I also ended up using that one tapestry in quite a few spots because that and that like stone artifact thing were really the only kinds of wall decorations that came with this pack. And then there's that light up llama cat thing. I'm not exactly sure what that was supposed to be, but didn't really see that suiting this place, so I didn't use it anywhere. I think that was more so meant to be used in the cantina, which I haven't actually looked at yet. Because I looked at the museum lot that came with this pack, but I've never really gone to the cantina. Like, I've looked at the marketplace a little bit, but haven't actually gone into that lot. So there's just a lot in this pack that I still have to explore, but I kind of wanted to say my first impression of some of it for the series. I mean, I have explored the jungle a little bit, but there's still a good bit that I haven't seen with it. So I'm just really looking forward to getting into all of that with the series, which should hopefully be starting within the next week or two. I may mean to have it up next week, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna have everything ready by then. But I mean, at least I got the build done, so there's that. And I mean, I'm using one of the Sims is a Sim that I already have, so I don't have to make completely new Sims for it. We're in the kitchen now, though, and I really like how it turns out. It's a little small. There's not a lot of counter space in it, so I wasn't really able to add a ton of decorations to it, but I still like it and how there's the table in the middle. And I also like the new counters, the cabinets that came with this pack. They have kind of an industrial feel to them with the concrete countertops, which is pretty cool because I don't think we have any other concrete countertops in this game. So those would work really well in an industrial build. And a build idea I did have was to make like an industrial explorer's loft. Like I was thinking that I could do it as like a converted factory home rather than like an apartment, and just have a home that's just like this modern industrial style with artifacts all over the place with like the curio cabinets and everything throughout it. I just thought that'd be really cool. So that's like another thing I want to do. Like I always have all these builds I want to do and then just not enough time. It's like I feel like I'm always saying all these ideas I have and then unfortunately not a lot of them happen because I have more ideas than I do time, which kind of sucks, but I try to do what I can. So this is the laundry room / half bathroom. And this was kind of an awkward space because when I put the stairs in, I had this weird space behind it. And I was thinking I could turn it into part of the kitchen, but then that would be like a really weird kitchen because you'd have like the kitchen and then this area off to the side that's more kitchen where you'd have a teeny kitchen if that was the kitchen. So yeah, I walled it off and then I felt like it was too big to be like a half bathroom. And I didn't want to have 2 full bathrooms in this house. It's just like 2 bedrooms. Well, it's actually 3, but one's like a study area. But anyway, like I didn't want to have a full bathroom downstairs, so then I thought, why not just make it a half bathroom / laundry room? So that ended up working out pretty well. And as you also saw, there was a partially outdoor seating area or sitting area in front of that fireplace, which I thought was a really nice space. And then there was also an outdoor dining area, so this probably a little bit too much seating for eating because you got the 6-seater table in the kitchen and then you got another 6-seater table outside, and this place only has 2 actual bedrooms. It can only sleep a maximum of 4 Sims, so it's kind of a little much, but I don't know. I just thought it'd be nice, if you want to have some of the locals over, there's some space to do that. If your Sims can also choose whether they want to eat indoors or eat outside, so you have some options there, so I thought it was nice to do that. But yeah, I'm just on the landing area upstairs now, which I didn't really put a whole lot in because it's just kind of an awkward space, so I didn't really furnish it that fully. And now we're starting on the first of the bedrooms, which is the one that the owner of this house is going to be staying in because it is the one that's a little bit bigger. And I got kind of stuck on what to do for the color scheme of this one because originally the walls were just this bland beige color, so I did change it a little bit to make it a little bit more colorful and also change the color of the bed. But yeah, other than that, there's not really a whole lot to say about this bedroom. Like it's kind of I don't know if it's like bland, but there's not really a whole lot in it because I just was kind of stuck on what to put on it. Yeah, like I wasn't sure what to use for the rug because there's these ones with nice patterns on them, but I felt like it didn't really go with the bed that well. So I'm pretty sure I ended up using the one... Oh no, I think I kept this rug. I ended up using one from Laundry Day Stuff, I'm pretty sure. I think I just kind of... Yeah, there we go. I think there's a bit I cut out where I was changing things around. Yeah, so we went with that one. I think the pattern went fairly well with it. And I also found that a lot of the stuff from Laundry Day Stuff went pretty well with this build. Like, it just kind of had this rustic style to it that I think went with the more rustic style some of the Jungle Adventure stuff had. So yeah, it's always nice when you find that two different packs work together pretty well. You know, unless they have items that look like they literally came from the same set, then that's kind of a problem. But we're onto the bathroom now. And I now realize that I put down the shower and completely forgot to change the tile inside of it. Darn, I'm kicking myself for that right now. But yeah, because maybe the shower had a tile that matched that one. It probably did. I don't know why I just pointed that out. I always point out things that people probably don't notice, but then I notice. But oh well, I still like how that bathroom turned out though. And also that bathroom sink from Jungle Adventure looks really cool. So that's something I'm definitely going to be using in the future. I just think it's kind of neat how it sort of combines like modern and traditional. Although I was wishing, like something I thought would have been neat was if they had more of a tile type counter in addition to the concrete one. But I mean, usually we only get like one new counter set, so I wasn't really expecting to, but just still would have been kind of a cool thing to see. So we're on to the room that is like the study. So in here we have the archaeology table. So if you find artifacts and stuff, you can come in there and uncover it and see what it is that you got. So I felt like that was definitely a room that we needed to have in this place. And then we just got a computer, so it's kind of like their office area. And then there's that shelf over there that I do later stick some of the artifacts on. So just throughout the place, there are some surfaces that I left empty, like there was another one of those in the living room, and then there's a table next to the door, and then there's also that hutch that I put in the kitchen. So those are the surfaces that I went around and added the artifacts and stuff to at the very end of the video. But yeah, in this room I ended up using another one of the Laundry Day Stuff rugs because I found that this one went pretty well with the color scheme that I had in here. And then after this room, there is only one room left to furnish, which is the one that Cammy will be staying in. And oh yeah, there were also those stone artifact, like the stone wall decorations, but I didn't end up using them much just because they were kind of large and I felt like they just didn't really look right throughout this house. So I just used it in that room. I think that was the only spot where I actually kept it. Yeah, this is the room that Cammy is going to be staying in, just a little bit smaller, just kind of like a little guest room that I imagine the Sim always had. So yeah, that worked out pretty well. I do like the blue and yellow color scheme that it has. But yeah, we're almost at the end of the building part. So I don't really have a lot more to say about this build. So as usual, if you want to download it, there'll be a link to do so in the description. And in case you want to find it in-game, there'll be stuff in there on how to do that as well. And that's going to be all for me. So I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video.